Pat McGuinness, we're out leafleting in Mitcham for Pauline Everest's local election campaign, and things are going very well. We've got a little leafleting team down here doing regular leafleting, and we was going to press on and get the ward leafleted, but the general election has been called. So this leafleting session we're doing now had already been arranged before the general election had been called, so we thought we'd complete this. But generally, because we're not going to be standing in the general election, National Housing Party will not be standing candidates. We're too small at the moment, and in my opinion, it's not really worth standing in parliamentary until you are well represented within that area by local councillors first. There can be a positive thing of doing it, standing in the parliamentary. You know, if you've got some target seats locally, some local election target seats within the parliamentary, you can get those wards leafleted for nothing by the Royal Mail. So, but generally, I think for small parties, it's not really worth standing in them. Reform UK are a household name now, and I predict that Reform UK will not win one seat. Right, this is how difficult it is. They've started at the top, and you need to start at the bottom. You need to start at the bottom and work your way up from local election victories. So my prediction for the general election is there's a number of outcomes what can happen. You know, it could be a Labour landslide. They before the Gaza crisis happened, they could have had a landslide of maybe 500 seats, 500 MPs. But Gaza's changed all of that. The Workers' Party of Britain are going to eat into their vote severely. They're going to hemorrhage so many votes. It's unbelievable. But it's not that issue what everyone's upset with the Labour Party about. Before Gaza, the Labour Party was disliked, even hated. I would say hated more. But so there's a few options. You could see a Labour landslide victory. We could easily get a hung parliament, because of you got Reform eating into the Tory vote, and you got Workers' Party of Britain eating into the Labour vote. So Labour landslide, hung parliament, and the Tories could still win it. I don't think people realise how much Labour are hated. Obviously the Tories are hated, but all around, all the establishment parties' votes are coming down. So this is probably the most fascinating general election we've seen for maybe 30 years. Because, you know, you've got two parties on the right and the left emerging, Reform and GB, Workers' Party of GB. So it's going to be interesting, and we're probably going to cease leafleting now until after the general election, because we don't really want people getting one of our messages of hope within our leaflet before the general election, because we're not going to be standing any candidates and they may be disappointed. Another reason we don't advise small parties to stand in general elections, because you're going to get a rubbish vote. You're going to get such a small vote, it's going to be demoralising to your donors and your activists, and you know, it's a big thing, motivation, to keep your people motivated, and that's the main reason we object to smaller parties standing in parliamentary seats. So thanks for watching. National Housing Party, Jesus Christ is King, onwards and upwards. Thank you very much.